Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here this afternoon for the announcement of the conclusion of the SPA process, structure and prospect appraisal that has been the commission-led process that the college went through to ensure that we have considered the options for future sustainability of our organization, for our students, our communities, and what this organization is heading to be able to offer for who we serve. Last time I met you, I gave you an overview of what the process was, and we put that up. Do you remember? There's plenty of fish. The whole idea that the college has been seeking suitors, if you like, for us to choose a partner for our future endeavors, and the fact that FE Commission acted as our, I don't know if the chaperones is the right sort of word in this context, but they were people who were looking over our choices to make sure that we choose the right partner for ourselves. So you have seen that slide before. We've been very popular. 9 suitors, which we whittled down to 4 contenders, and we chose 1. So none of that has changed. And the 1, we are now entering into formal collaborative arrangements for us to decide strategically if we are suitable for one another for any further structural change. So, like any partnership, we have now chosen someone that we think is the right person for us, right organization for us, and the approach would be a period of courtship where we would decide if we are suitable for one another. And the intention for that suitability is not about just one-sided, what can they do for Epping Forest College. It's also how can we grow together as an organization, providing for the joint communities that we serve. So, the key thing for you to note on that slide, which hasn't changed, and I'm delighted that it hasn't, is that we are in no rush to make that decision. The timeline is set that by August 2019, we have gone through those assessments, our courtship, and basically if this was continuing with that analogy of finding a partner and getting married, that's the provisional date for marriage. So you don't have to worry about your hairdo or buying a dress or anything like that as yet. This is just about our courtship at this moment in time. So let me tell you what the process was. FE commissioners, as I said, acted as our chaperones, having the interests of the college at heart, making sure that we will choose the right people. You may ask what their roles were. And, you know, again, with the context of wedding and marriage and so on, certainly this is not a forced marriage. This is like the elders of the family being around, deciding if this new partner that you're choosing is suitable or not. So they advised, they supported us, they helped us look at all angles where we were considering, and also they have a duty to go back, because our college, as you know, is under administered status, and if FE Commission has interventions going with us, making sure that we are on track and we are progressing to the right level, speed, and swiftness to get the college out of the troubles that there is. And they have a responsibility to report to the Minister of Education and also to the Secretary of State. So that's their role, that's what they are doing. They recommend and they firmly advise what we need to do. Ultimately, the decision is not by them. It is by our Board of Governors. And that is how we have arrived at the point of choosing the 1. And I bet you're just sitting and saying, oh, but spit it out, who is the 1? And the 1 is Barnet and Southgate College. And you want to know why we have arrived at the Barnet and Southgate College as the 1. And I would like, before me saying anything, just showing you a short wanted to announce what the decision has been today. So he has sent a short video for us that I would like to share with you. So Barnet and Southgate College sharing with you a quick message.
Hi, Sabui. Thank you so much for the invitation to be with you at the staff address. Unfortunately, prior commitments meant that I've got business outside, so can't be with you. So I'm resorting to the technology, so you can all see my ugly face, and you're probably pointing at me as I speak. I just want to sort of say from our side, first of all, congratulations. I think you've been through quite a torturous, distracting period, and to come through that in such a comprehensive fashion, and choosing a preferred partner is no easy task. So I'm absolutely delighted on behalf of Barnet and Southgate, the governing body, and all the management team and staff, that we've been given a chance to work with you guys, because that's what it is. It's about a developing partnership for the outer London rim. And we're absolutely delighted to have the opportunity to now sort of hopefully settle down and talk through some of the ideas that you and I have spoken about and we have in common, and find a way of becoming, as a complete organisation in the end, potentially a very resilient, successful and innovative college. As I say, it's probably been really hard work for you guys at that particular end of things, and from where we are only now just ready and willing to help out, to sit down and design new things with you. There's certainly going to be lessons learnt on both parts, and we're really keen to learn from you some of your fantastic specialisms, and obviously some great successes within the college. But that's for another time. The important thing from my point of view is to just recognise that these are anxious moments for all staff. There's always speculation, there's always the rumour mills, and quite frankly, I bet you're pleased to have come out the other end with having made a decision. So we're delighted with that decision. I really personally very look forward to working with you and the team, and it's in all of our interests to get the strongest possible sector and the strongest possible set of colleges for our learners, of whom livelihoods depend. So I hope you have a good debate about the next stages. We will obviously find time to catch up with you in the coming days and weeks. But for now, thanks so much for making that decision. Really look forward to working with you. We're delighted, as I say. And I just wish everyone a great weekend. And hopefully I'll see you in person at some stage. Take care. Thanks, Sabui. Bye.
So, David, I know from previous lives, a very well-respected principal within the sector. One of the key criteria that we had was the culture and ethos of the organization to be compatible. And I think as far as choosing a partner goes, all the signs are that we have learners at the heart of everything that we do. The focus is about developing the provision that serves the communities that we have, and also working in partnership. So this is not a takeover. This is not someone coming as a knight in shining armor trying to rescue a damsel in distress. We all know where we are at and the challenges that we face, and we know that regardless of all those challenges that we have plenty to be proud of, and we have plenty to share as good practice. So I personally am delighted that I will be working with a counterpart that I trust and I respect professionally and personally. So let's tell you a little bit about the process. The proposal for collaboration that they have put together, and what does that mean? There is going to be, in terms of how we go about doing things, these are new beginnings for the north and east of London, and a bit of West Essex, which we occupy, just about, in terms of the provision and the curriculum. So we will be looking to see how can we build upon each other's strength as two institutions, bringing the reality of more comprehensive, more in-depth progression and higher quality provision for the area. The biggest question on everybody's mind is, are we merging? We might be, but at this moment in time, if the merger can be equated to marriage at the end of it, at this moment in time, we are choosing the parameters of suitability. And as such, we will be working towards establishing if this is the right thing to do or not. And if not, that doesn't necessarily mean the partnership and collaboration and share of resources cannot go ahead. So the partnership and collaboration is not a merger immediately here and now. The idea is if we were to get together in a more structurally changed institution, have two organizations that have their own identity, would serve their own community, but would benefit from having a shared ethos and a shared umbrella, is that the right thing to do or not? If we were to do any merger arrangements, as I said, the date is set by 2019, and that is in August. Many of you might ask, are there going to be any immediate changes? Absolutely no changes to what we are doing here and now, practically on the ground. We have students to see through, we have students to recruit. There is going to be some discussions in the background taking place to see where, at this time of year, you know that we might get some resignations of staff, lecturing staff, vacancies that are hard to fill, and therefore those kind of discussions in preparation for September will be carried out to see, is there anything that we can help one another as a first step in terms of those supports? Joint marketing for staffing, joint marketing for provision, and so on, are the things like that that we can do. But on the ground, there's nothing to be changed. The key priority for us is to make sure that we remain focused on what matters to us, which are the two key things. Our quality is right, and we are financially sound. And those are underpinned with everything that we have at the heart of everything that we do, which is the outcome for learners and benefit for learners. Putting our students first for every decision that we make. So business as usual, there is no change and there is no rush. The timeline that we have is quite sensible and reasonable for us to move forward at a pace that does not have an adverse impact on our quality improvement plan. So, where from here? Just so you know, how did we go about choosing the one, what the process of SPA was. I have alluded to this in the previous conversations, but we put together a mixed group that we called like a select committee, a panel from governors who were joined by some external advisors from the Epping Forest District Council and also Essex County Council, supporting us through the process. And then from external colleagues, we have representation from funders, the ESFA colleagues, we had representation from FE Commission, and we also had the representation from the intervention team who look after all the notices of improves that we have and keep track on where we are at. So that was the team, quite a comprehensive team with good level of expertise and interest in the life of the college and its future, getting together and considering various options. What did we look at? What did we ask? FE Commission has a very clear set of criteria when they do such structure, prospect and appraisals as a commission-led. And they are based around the document that I'm sure you remember, New Challenges, New Chances. So there is criteria of if we are changing the structure, what are we expecting that to do? And those expectations are listed for you as bullet points underneath there. So you will see that the New Challenges, New Chances document is looking at the vision for the organization. Are there going to be sound and strategic leadership for the organization? And also, they look at sustainability of any improvement moving forward. So it's not a quick thing. This is about really sustainable partnership and collaboration moving on. And of course, more than anything, the last bullet point, the one before last, is absolutely key, because the impact on staff, the impact on learners, the impact on the provision, and also looking at what does that do to the community and the competition has been key criteria that FE Commission had looked at. Over and above what they scored and assessed and gave us guidance on, EFC had its own chance to say, okay, what is it that is important to us as an organization? And we put the first priority, as you would have expected, for it to be the impact of any change on our curriculum, and as such, on our learners, and in a sense, not only just future learners, but current ones. Hence, you can see that what we have done with the timeline of the merger for the proposal and this partnership coming together, that we have not rushed into making the decision that we need to have a partner immediately now and have a structural change tomorrow. So this has been very key in us deciding the timeline of where we are going. Obviously, the college sits very pretty with its finances in terms of our assets. We have the blip that we have in our finances that you are very well aware of, and you are very consciously supporting us in bringing the deficit down. We wanted to make sure that the organization that is coming to us are not looking at our asset as something that they would be able to get their hands on if there was a merger at the end of it, that we would be asset stripped and we would lose control over where we are. So finances was the next most important thing. And the quality, the third, not that the quality wasn't as important, but you know that we are well on our way to improve the quality of our organization ourselves, and I cannot wait for the results to come out for us to show what has been the impact of the interventions that we have done. But Barnet and Southgate, a very established, very well respected, a grade 2 organization with some really high standard provision, they have established processes that we might be able to learn from. And that has been a criteria for us when we have chosen our chosen partner. Obviously, the organizational structure, if we were to merge at some point in the future, we wanted to know how would they like this to operate. Are they going to be hands-off, letting us be? Are they going to be changing the structure of the senior leadership team? And also the impact of that on the curriculum. Is it going to be, we're going to close one area in this college and running it in another and all the rest of it? So all those things have been considered in choosing the preferred partner. And the geographical match for us to have someone who is close enough to be able to support, far enough to be allowing us to get on with the work that we need to do, and obviously the culture and ethos of the organizations to match. So having said all of that, those two sets of criteria we have gone through, and we have decided that Barnet and Southgate is the best out of the lot. So what is it that we want to achieve? The aim of all of this is to help develop a new and vibrant college offer that is better able to meet the economic and social challenges that London, our local boroughs, and wider country face. What we have been very clear that this is not just about us, it's about them as well. So that's the aim of what we have started to this process about. What's the vision? That by 2020, the governors are presiding over a high-quality, learner-valued and employer-responsive institution with outstanding results and achievements. You know, our aspirations is to be outstanding by 2020, and all the words that you see there, one way or another, shape in our strategic plan as well. So the joint vision for this partnership has not deviated and sort of distracted us from where we wanted to be. We also wanted to make sure that the focus is on adding value. Why are we choosing a partner? It's very clear, and we had a long debate at the Board of Governors where we considered the college not selecting a partner and carrying on our own, which is a very valid thing to do. You know, we have a new leadership team, new processes, staff, training, all the work that you guys are doing, and also we have a recovery plan, we have assets. Should we get into this partnership or not? And if we are, what is it that they can do that add value to what we can do ourselves? And those added values have been, how can they support us with our quality? How can they support us in accessing income lines that we can't access, and you know, with the restrictions that we have, we can't do apprenticeship, for example, and we are limited in the number of EFA learners that we have, and so on, and also the limitations of our growth, and progression for our students. So we wanted the added value to be help us accelerate and expedite our improvement plan, help us with our recovery plan in terms of our finances, and also support us in having a more comprehensive growth and progression plan for our learners. Those are the added value, and they do meet the criteria on the basis of what we have seen so far. There need to be a whole load more detailed work carried out to see how does that pan out in reality. So, Match.com, we got our partner. It's pretty much like you have put your profile up and they did, and this is the match. It's as superficial as that at this moment in time. There need to be many dating sessions taking place and many interactions taking place for us to decide, are these the ones that we would like to be walking down the aisle with? And the BSc ranked highest by our elders, if you like, in terms of the FEC ranking. They did a superb presentation when they came, and their approach of collaboration and collegiate and not coming in with a pre-set ideas of how this would work was very much welcomed by us. And the fact that the timeline was non-aggressive and very collegiate again, very mindful and sensitive to the challenges that we face with Ofsted and everything else that is going on, not wanting to distract us but support us. And they were put forward by the Select Committee to the full Board of Governors that met this Monday as our preferred choice. The Board of Governors considered that recommendation fully, and the Board of Governors had good debate about some others that we had looked at, and also the merits of standalone and not standing alone and going with them, and is the merger a possibility, or is this just going to be a collaborative partnership? And the decision was made that we will formally enter a collaborative arrangement to strategically partner with Barnet and Southgate College to establish if there is any need for change to the structure and prospect of the college in the future, and if there is, we would make that decision by August 2019. So that is the decision of the board. That is the decision that will be communicated with internal and external people, and that is where we are going from now. So what I would like to do now, what happened there? Let's have a message from our chair. Everybody's going places on Friday. Nobody was here to come and speak to you in person, so I managed to put a camera in front of our chair's face so he can give you a brief about how he feels about the decision that was made and what his message is to you.
Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for your considerable efforts this academic year during a turbulent and challenging time. You are almost there, and I know that even after the end of the academic year next week, many of you will continue to work with our students who might still need your help, and all of you will be thinking and planning for the start of the next academic year. As your Chairman of Governors, I have been personally involved in the life of the college since my appointment in February. I have met with many of you in person and visited many of your classes. I respect and acknowledge the level of hard work and dedication you have put in, and the commitment that you have shown to your students, colleagues and the college. Epping Forest College is entering a new era. With the appointment of our Principal Saburi last year, we now have an ambitious strategic vision for the future of the college and its learners. We are building on the college's core mission of skills development in the immediate locality and in our wider region. You've all had an important role in helping the college to take stock and to take action. I, like many of you, am keen to see the impact of our efforts that will be evident in the results for our learners' achievements. There is no question that the challenges that we face are enormous. but they match in their enormity with our aspiration to be outstanding and wanted to deliver consistently well for our learners and support them on their way in the next stage of their planned education, employment or career. To ensure the college is maximising its chances of success, the Board of Governors has agreed to formally enter into a collaborative arrangement with Barnet and Southgate College. We have chosen a partner who is strong, well regarded and stable, who offers us some pragmatic, practical and immediate ideas on how they can help expedite our improvement plans. We are engaging in this partnership with the spirit of openness and transparency. It is clear that the college's financial concerns has grown since the last academic year. The board and senior management are aiming to provide a sustainable, successful college and will do all that is necessary to achieve this. With your effort and support, we know that we are well on our way to improving the quality of our learners' experience and achievement. Our ambition is to develop and build upon our current strengths and better enable our institution to meet the economic and social challenges that Epping Forest, London and the wider region faces. We aspire to have high quality and excellent provision that is valued by our learners and is responsive to the needs of our employers. Our focus remains firmly on achieving outstanding results for our learners and supporting them with achieving their potential in life, work and education. We firmly believe that a formal collaboration and strategic partnership with a strong and stable institution such as Barnet and Southgate College will expedite our efforts and strengthen our chances to do our very best for our community faster and better. Once again, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your help and support, your dedication and professionalism this academic year. We continue to remain focused on the welfare and well-being of our learners, and I know that you will do the same. Let us all positively move forward together, and thank you once again.
I think the reference to strong and stable, I think it's because he's a Tory MP, not MP. He will be at some point, I'm sure. But there we are. So you can see that from the top we have that focus firmly staying on our learners, their experience, and the chosen partner is known by our governors to be the stable and robust, not strong and stable, a robust organization that we would be able to work with. Okay, so what from here? How can you, what now? The first thing is first. The college's team, myself and the senior team and the chair would meet one another to sort of set out, okay, now we have chosen, what are we going to do? So it's as simple as that, trying to get our head around what are the next steps. And dig a little bit more into each other's strengths that were sort of put forward to see how can we work together in a much more positive way. Then we can agree immediately what can be done for September. Again, as I said, those are not any intrusive actions. It's more about how can we work together to have a much better, stable relationship moving forward. Then we're going to make sure that we have a communication plan, both internally for our institutions and externally, because other people want to know what is happening, agreed draft timeline, and also agreed next steps. With all of this, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this is not going to be an anxious time. This is not going to be a time that we can just ignore that happening, but as much as you can, put it in the back of your mind and trust that there will be communication when you need to know things and so on will take place. So how can you keep informed? We're going to create a newsletter that will be jointly published to the both organizations as and when there is news to be given. And we have called it New Dawn. The New Dawn newsletter, similar to the Voice that you would receive, will go to both organizations. We will have weekly union meetings, as you know, and that does not necessarily mean you only have to be a member of union, although it's a good thing to do, for you to get the messages back. And those union notes are available to you, you can read them. And what I would highly recommend is that you have the union reps, you would have your staff governors. If you have any questions, any concerns, you can pass that through formally through the process and through the system. And obviously, what I would like you to use is the review at efc.ac.uk. Any concerns that you have, any questions that you have, I would like you to post those and we would respond to those. You can also book a time with any member of the CLT, any members of the Board of Governors through summer, and we make time available to answer any questions that you may have. And also, make sure that in the voice today, I will put a summary of what Barking and Dagenham proposed to us when they submitted their proposal, so you get a sense of what did they say. I didn't have time to go through the half-an-hour presentations that they did for us, but I will share with you some of the key ideas, suggestions, their approach with you in the voice today, so that will be available to you as well. So that's where we are at. I want you to do two things before you leave. As you came in, you had some post-it notes. I want you to do one very pragmatic thing. I want to know immediate questions that you have that we don't really have time to answer now. And there's a box there with an orange sticker on it for your questions. And the other is more of a creative way of me gauging the mood and also knowing how you feel. If you are musically talented or remember any music tracks, what I would like you to do is in that box, which I call a jukebox, put down any tracks of any music, of any genre, of any band that you think will capture the mood of our organization to where we are at. And I'll share with you the one that I've chosen. So my soundtrack for where we are and where we think we are is a soundtrack called The Climb. And as you are thinking, my assistant there will play it and you'll hear it. And I don't know if you know the track or not, but that's going to be the first one going up. For me, this is about a climb. And listen to the lyrics as you write your questions and your jukebox. And at the next staff meeting, I will share with you what the jukebox were. But remains for me to say my thanks again for being here this afternoon, for your support that you have given us, for the trust that you are putting in us, leading this organization, and you have my word that you would know as soon as I know what is happening to the future of our organization, and you will have a very strong channel of communication to influence that direction.
There's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking